And so every day when I go to class, I'd see the seminarian who kept, on my heart and mind, and priests were very much a part of our family. I had a couple sisters who died as children, and that had a great impact on me. And so I went to the seminary after my sophomore year of college. And it's not for everybody, but I can tell you it's for me. I love every day. We all have bad days, but some are moms and dads, right? Anybody else? Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I'd be glad to. Father can work with Nancy, and we'll get a time to do it. So you probably can even keep the collection. I'm not personally, no. Yes, sir.
What was your immediate reaction when you were asked to come to Michigan from North Dakota?
Actually, I came from South Dakota. I was invited actually to come to Saginaw when I was in Rome for the Ad Limina. I was there representing, of course, the Diocese of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I was called into the Congregation for Bishops, and they said that tomorrow I would see the Holy Father, and he would ask me if I would become the Bishop of Saginaw. And they said, well, it would be helpful if we knew what you were going to say. So obviously I said yes, but when I came here, they said, we understand that the Pope talked in person about coming to Saginaw. I said, that's correct. And they said, well, what did he say? I said, would you like the whole conversation? They said, yes, we would. I said, well, when I walked in, and of course, remember, these were the last months of John Paul before he passed away. And he said, so, you will go to Saginaw. I said, yes, Holy Father. Good. Good. Now we talk about Sioux Falls. So that's exactly how it happened. And I then went home to where I was staying at the North American College. I called my father, who of course was elderly by that time, with a little hard of hearing. I said, Dad, guess what? I'm going to Saginaw. And he said, Saigon! I said, no, Saginaw. He said, well, that's a lot better. So that's the story. And it's been wonderful, I have to tell you. I didn't know anything about Saginaw. But I was born and raised in Minneapolis and Chicago. And quite frankly, other than there's a much deeper loyalty to your university football teams, and somewhat divided, I might add. And I have both a green and a blue sweatshirt, just in case you're wondering. I'm unfortunately born stupid. It's very similar. Weather-wise and everything else. Yes, sir.
Mr. Carlson, why is there so much difference in the Mass in different places we go? And what is the point?
The question is, why is there a difference in the Mass? Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, there was a time, and when I was vocation director, I'd go around to one church or another, and you'd ask two questions. Where's the key to the tabernacle? And, when you come up the aisle, do you bow or do you kneel? That was it. That was about the two biggest differences. But starting back shortly after I was ordained with the changes, and we've had about 78 documents now on liturgies. People change, but I noticed that everybody has a kind of what I call a lifespan in change. At some point, after you've been saying Mass like for 40 years like I have, and you made several changes, there's a couple things that you do that are just a little bit different. And so there are differences in dioceses, and there are differences even from one parish to another. Those differences sometimes have to do with architecture. They sometimes have to do with if you will, the strata or the generation that the priest came from. But one of the things we've been working on very hard with the help of the priests here is more uniformity, and we're moving in that direction. And about 70% of the parishes are kind of moving along very well that way. So I think you'll find that the Diocese of Saginaw, given the differences of style and architecture and those kinds of things, there'll be more uniformity. Good question. Yes, ma'am. The question is, will some of the liturgy go back to Latin? Well, it actually never left the Latin. It's kind of like, when they did away with eating fish on Friday, people quit doing sacrifice. When the church allowed the English language, it always said there should be some use of the Latin. And while it's not Latin, but actually Greek, you'll find some parishes that during Lent, for instance, would do the Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, and other things like that, which of course remind us of the past. And I find as I go through the diocese, again, that's different in different places. Some will even do the Lamb of God in Latin during special seasons. So yes, you can use Latin. But it will never be, I would doubt it would be all Latin, because 99% of people won't understand it. I happen to have 40 credits of college Latin, and used to do all the translating when the documents came from the Holy See, which is maybe why we're in trouble every once in a while in the United States. Yes, sir.
Notre Dame will be honoring President Obama with an honorary doctorate degree, and I was curious if you had any comment on that.
The question well, the statement actually, Notre Dame will be honoring President Obama with an honorary doctorate. Well, I have two things. Number one, I'm delighted that I'm not the bishop there. Because being there, he made a statement that, he's not going to attend the graduation. Secondly, it's a catch-22. On the one hand, we all know his record on things pro-life, especially with regard to abortion. But we also understand that he's the President of the United States. So, what do you do? That's why I'm really happy I'm not the bishop of that diocese. But I will say this, and that is, as I look at the abortion statistics in the state of Michigan, and we've been going down, I believe it's a tragedy that abortions among people of the black race are going up. And I think President Obama, I pray that he sees that. I think that's what I would say. The other thing is, I think we have to pray for him. Because, I don't know if you knew this or not, you get the bishops you pray for, and the priests you pray for, and the politicians you pray for. Mm-hmm. So, I think for all those black children who are being aborted, you should pray for them. Good question, thank you. Yes, ma'am?
But if the abortion you see going up in the black community, and what is the statistic in saying that there's other people that do abortions and we don't know the nationality or?
Well, we know whether they're Hispanic, black, or Caucasian. And that's what the state of Michigan puts out, so that's where we have to go.
And if there is abortions, let's say my daughter wants to get an abortion, she may be old enough, but shouldn't it be us parents to maybe counsel her and send her to counseling before it happens?
Absolutely.
And if we don't, would it be whose fault? Mine or as a parent or whose fault?
You'd have to give me a lot more information before I place guilt. But I can tell you this, as a mother, if I thought a daughter was going to have an abortion, I'd do a lot of talking.
If I was the mother of that daughter, she wouldn't be having that baby.
I kind of figured that'd be true if you meant it. That's why I was a little careful how I answered your question. I kept you longer than I was supposed to. I'm sorry about that. Thank you very much for the invitation. I look forward to coming back and celebrating Mass with you.